The basement air was thick, choking with the hiss of gas escaping from the rusted valve behind them. I could feel it burning my lungs, each breath pulling me closer to the edge. There, in the flickering light of that single bulb, stood my mother, her lips curled into a smile that twisted my gut like a knife. Not a smile of relief or madness, but one of cold, deliberate satisfaction. Jack, my stepfather, gripped the baseball bat tighter, his knuckles white, eyes gleaming with the kind of rage that had haunted my nightmares for years. "Welcome home, Anna," he snarled, his voice echoing off the concrete walls. Sarah, my best friend from the unit, tensed beside me, her hand instinctively reaching for a weapon that wasn't there. We were trapped, locked in from above, and the world outside this hellhole felt a million miles away. This wasn't how I imagined my return to Elmwood, Ohio, the quiet suburb where I'd grown up in a split-level ranch house with flower beds Mom tended like they were her children. Back then, life was simple, wrapped in the warmth of my father's laughter and the scent of his aftershave, mixed with engine grease from the garage.
Dad,
Michael Thompson, was a mechanic at the local Ford dealership, the kind of guy who could fix anything with his hands and a grin. He'd hoist me onto his shoulders during backyard barbecues, teaching me how to flip burgers just right.
Mom,
Susan, worked as a nurse at the community hospital. Her shifts long but her hugs longer when she got home. She'd tuck me in with stories of her patients' triumphs, her voice soft like a lullaby. I was 10 when it all shattered. It was a crisp fall day in October, leaves crunching under my sneakers as I walked home from school. The police cruiser in our driveway stopped me cold. Dad had been test driving a customer's car when a drunk driver T-boned him at the intersection. Gone in an instant,
they said.
No suffering. But the suffering started for us right there. Mom crumpled like a discarded tissue, her world orbiting around a man who was suddenly ash. The funeral was a haze of sympathetic pats and covered dishes, lasagna, potato salad, things that sat uneaten in our fridge. I remember her standing by the grave,
dry-eyed,
while I sobbed into her coat. Grief swallowed her whole. She quit her job, claiming the hospital reminded her too much of loss. Bills stacked up like accusations on the kitchen counter. I learned to microwave dinners, to forge her signature on school forms, to lie to teachers about why my homework was late. At 10, I was playing house for real, keeping the lights on with odd jobs like mowing lawns for neighbors. Mom drifted through the days in her robe, staring at Dad's empty chair. The house, once alive with his tools clanging and her humming show tunes, turned silent, oppressive. 2 years dragged on, and I turned 12, my body stretching but my spirit shrinking. Then Jack Harlan entered our lives like a storm cloud disguised as sunshine. He was a contractor, Mrs. Ellis from across the street recommended after a windstorm tore shingles from our roof. I came home to find his truck in the drive, tools scattered, and laughter, actual laughter, from the kitchen. Mom's cheeks were pink, her eyes bright for the first time since Dad. Jack was burly, with a beard that hid his smirks and arms like tree trunks from years on job sites. He fixed the roof for half price, stayed for coffee, then dinner. He charmed her slowly,
deliberately.
Bouquets of daisies, her favorite, appeared on the porch. He took us to diners we hadn't afforded in ages, paying with a wink. "A lady like Susan deserves better," he'd say, his eyes lingering too long on me when Mom wasn't looking. I wanted to like him. God, I did. Seeing Mom smile again felt like breathing after drowning. They married in a quick Vegas trip 6 months later. I wasn't invited, just told after the fact. Jack moved in, his boots tracking mud over Dad's old rugs, his voice booming where Dad's had been gentle. At first, it was okay. He paid bills, fixed leaks, even taught me to change a tire. But cracks appeared fast. His suggestions turned to commands. Mom's cooking wasn't spicy enough. The house too cluttered. Her friends too nosy. He added himself to her accounts. Doled out cash like allowances. "We're a family now," he'd say. But it felt like ownership. Mom shrank, her protests fading into apologies. I'd catch glimpses of bruises on her arms, hear arguments muffled through walls. "Accidents," she'd whisper when I asked. Jack's temper flared over nothing, a burnt steak, a late dinner. He'd loom over her, voice low and threatening, until she backed down. By 14, I was his target too. My clothes were too tight, my friends too wild, my dreams too big. "College? Waste of time for girls like you," he'd scoff. He threw my scholarship applications in the trash, claiming we'd need the money for family priorities. Mom said nothing, her eyes averted. I'd lie awake, plotting escape routes in my head, the military brochures hidden under my mattress. The Army promise structure. Education. A way out. Sergeant Reyes at the recruiting office saw through my bravado. "What's the real story, kid?" she asked. I broke then, spilling about Jack's control. Mom's silence. She nodded. "We build strength here. You in." I enlisted secretly, forging signatures, acing tests during lunch hours. Ship date, June 20th, right after high school graduation. Jack sensed it, rifled through my room, found the papers. The fight exploded in the living room, his face red.
Spittle flying.
"You're not leaving.
This family needs you."
Mom stood silent, wringing her hands. "Stay,
Anna.
It's safer." Her words stung like salt in a wound. I left at dawn, bag slung over my shoulder. No goodbyes. The bus to basic training felt like freedom's first breath. Basic was hell drills, push-ups, endless runs, but it forged me. I emerged sharper, stronger. Assigned to Fort Bragg in North Carolina. There, I met Sarah, my battle buddy, tough as nails with a heart of gold. We deployed together, faced sandstorms and skirmishes in the Middle East. I earned my stripes, literally Staff Sergeant Thompson by 25. Medals for valor. But scars too, inside and out. Letters from Mom came sporadically, always pleading, "Come home." Jack's changed. I knew better. Then the call came. Mom's voice, trembling. "He's getting worse.
Anna.
I need help." Against Sarah's advice, I took leave, drove back to Elmwood. The house looked smaller, Jack's truck dominating the drive. Inside, Mom's eye was blackened. "He didn't mean it," she whispered. I confronted him in the garage, fists clenched. "Leave her alone." He laughed, shoving me against the wall. "Or what? Soldier girl?" The scuffle ended with me pinning him. MPs on speed dial since we were near a base annex. But Mom refused charges.
"It's my fault," she said.
Jack smirked as he walked free. That night, Sarah and I planned. But Jack struck first, luring us back with a fake plea from Mom. The basement trap closed around us. Gas hissing. Their smiles sealing our fate. My heart pounded as the fumes thickened, memories flashing like a dying light. The gas clawed at my throat, turning every inhale into fire. Sarah coughed beside me, her eyes watering, but her voice steady. "We fight this,
Anna."
Together. I nodded, scanning the dim basement for anything, a tool, a weakness in the walls. Upstairs, I heard the back door slam, Jack and Mom fleeing to sell their lie to the neighbors. We were alone.
Minutes ticking down like a bomb.
My mind raced back to how I'd let it get this far. How the girl who'd escaped had walked right back into the cage. After basic, Fort Bragg became my sanctuary. The barracks buzzed with purpose. Drills at dawn. Strategy sessions. The camaraderie that filled the void Dad left. Sarah was my anchor. A Brooklyn native with a quick wit and quicker reflexes. We'd share MREs under starry skies. Trading stories. Hers, a deadbeat dad who bailed early. Mine, the slow poison of Jack's reign. Sounds like a classic abuser, she'd say. Your mom needs out. I sent money home. Anonymous transfers. Hoping it'd give mom leverage. But her letters begged forgiveness. Not escape. Deployment hit hard, Afghanistan. Dust and danger. I led patrols. Diffused tensions in villages. Earned a Bronze Star for pulling a wounded comrade from gunfire. The adrenaline masked the ache. But nights brought dreams of Elmwood. Of mom's fading light.
Back stateside.
I rotated to intelligence. Analyzing threats from a desk. Life stabilized, a small apartment off base. Weekend hikes with Sarah. Even a brief romance with a fellow sergeant that fizzled under deployment stress. The turning point was Mom's midnight call last spring. He's drinking again, she sobbed. Hit me over nothing. I flew home, unannounced. Found her cowering in the bedroom, arm in a sling. Hospitals said it's a sprain, she lied. Jack was at a bar. I waited in the shadows. When he stumbled in, reeking of whiskey, I stepped out. Touch her again. And you're done. He swung wild. I dodged. Years of training kicking in. I had him on the ground, arm twisted. When Mom screamed,
Stop.
You'll kill him. Police arrived. Neighbors called. But Mom claimed it was mutual. A family spat. Charges dropped. Jack's eyes promised revenge as he dusted off. Sarah joined me for the next visit. Back up, she insisted. We confronted them together in the living room. Mom. Pack a bag. We're leaving. Jack blocked the door. She's not going anywhere. The shove came fast, Sarah countered. Flipping him over the couch. MPs hauled him away, trespassing on federal radar since I invoked base protocols. But again, Mom balked. I love him, she whispered.
He's all I have.
Sarah diagnosed it later. Trauma bond. She's hooked on the cycle. Weeks passed. Tension simmering. Jack's emails started. Threats veiled as concern. Your mom's fragile. Don't push her. I ignored them. Focused on work. Then the email from Mom's account. Help me leave. He's away in Indiana. Come tonight. 10 p.m. Back door. Suspicious. But hope flickered. Sarah and I geared up. Notified our CO as precaution. If it's a trap, we're ready. Arriving in Elmwood, the house loomed dark. Basement light glowing like a lure. A cry echoed Mom's voice.
Pained.
We rushed in. Down the stairs. There she was. Cornered. Smiling that eerie smile. Door locked. Jack emerged. Bat in hand. Gotcha. Gas valve opened wide. The plan unfolding. Us as intruders. Dying in an accident. Mom's arms bore fresh marks. Props for their story. Why? I gasped. You left me, she said. Voice flat. Now you pay. As they ascended, locking us in. Despair hit. But anger surged. Window. I rasped to Sarah. High up. Sealed shut. We grabbed Dad's old crowbar from the shelf. Smashing glass. Shards cut my palms. But air trickled in. Text sent blindly, weak signal. But enough? Sirens wailed distant. We pulled each other through. Collapsing on the lawn as cops swarmed. Jack and Mom in the neighbor's yard. Feigning shock. My phone's metadata exposed the email fraud sent from Jack's device. Handcuffs clicked. Jack raged. Mom crumbled. EMTs bandaged us as dawn broke. You okay? Sarah asked. I watched Mom in the squad car. Her smile gone, replaced by hollow regret. No, I admitted.
But alive.
The war-eyed Fled had followed me. But this time, I'd end it. Interrogation rooms were cold, fluorescent-lit traps. Jack denied everything, claiming self-defense. Mom cracked first, tears flowing. He made me, she whispered. But evidence mounted, gas residue. Our wounds, the fake email, charges, attempted murder, conspiracy. Bail denied for Jack, Mom held as accomplice. Back at base. Nightmares plagued me, gas, smiles, betrayal. Therapy helped unpack it. Mom's grief twisted into dependency. Jack's control her crutch. You can't save everyone, the counselor said. But I'd tried. Sarah kept me grounded. Runs at dawn. Late night talks. Family's what we make, she'd say. The preliminary hearing was a circus. Jack in orange. Smug until my testimony. He planned our deaths, I stated. Voice steel. Mom avoided my eyes. Reduced charges? No. Full trial loomed. Whispers in the hall. Jack's vow. This ain't over. But it was for him. Court dates dragged like chains, each one peeling back layers of rot in what was once my family. The Elmwood County Courthouse, with its marble steps and echoing halls, became my battlefield. I sat rigid in my uniform, ribbons gleaming under harsh lights, as the prosecutor laid out the trap. Emails.
Gas.
The basement lock. Jack's lawyer painted me as vengeful, a troubled vet seeking payback. But the jury's eyes hardened when I described Mom's smile. That detail, raw and real, hung in the air like smoke. Flashbacks hit during breaks. Childhood Sundays at the lake. Dad skipping stones. Mom packing picnics. Post-accident. Those memories soured. Jack's arrival had promised revival, but delivered chains. His control was subtle at first, isolating Mom from friends, monitoring calls. I'd overhear. You don't need them.
Babe.
You got me. By 16, I was ghosting through school, grades slipping under stress. Guidance counselor Mr. Hale noticed. Options.
Anna.
Trade school? Military? The army flyer he slipped me sparked hope. Enlisting felt like rebellion. Basic broke and rebuilt me, crawling through mud, scaling walls, learning to lead. Thompson. You're unbreakable, my drill sergeant barked. Deployment tested that. IEDs. Ambushes. The weight of decisions. I saved lives. Lost friends. Home leave was brief. Elmwood felt alien. Mom's pleas. Visit more. Jack's shadow loomed. The basement incident shattered illusions. Post-rescue. Hospital lights blurred as doctors stitched cuts. Sarah paced. That smile, sick. Mom's interview transcript gutted me. Anna abandoned us. Jack's my rock.
Stockholm.
Experts called it. Love warped by fear. Trial prep was grueling. Witnesses. Neighbors recalling shouts. Sarah corroborating the trap. Mom flipped. Plea deal for testimony. On stand, she unraveled. I resented her strength. Wanted her to hurt like me. The admission sucked air from the room. Jack exploded during his turn. They needed discipline. I fixed that mess. His outburst sealed it. Guilty verdicts came swift. Life for Jack. 10 years for Mom. As bailiffs led them away, Mom mouthed. Sorry. I felt empty. Victory tasted like ash.
Outside.
Sarah hugged me. You won. But at what cost? The girl who'd lost dad. Fled home. Fought wars. Had she truly survived? Life post-trial. Promotion to sergeant first class. Therapy ongoing. I bought a house in Fayetteville. Planted daisies like moms. Sarah and I started a support group for abuse survivors, sharing stories. Building strength. Calls from mom came from prison. Remorseful. Reflective. I see now, she'd say. Forgiveness? Maybe someday.
For now.
Scars reminded me, resilience isn't born, it's forged in fire. Yet doubts lingered. Was mom's betrayal inevitable? Grief's dark fruit? Or could I have pulled her out sooner? The basement's echo haunted. Her smile. A mirror of broken bonds. Survival meant carrying that weight. But lighter now. Shared with chosen family. Reintegration wasn't linear. Nights. I'd bolt awake. Phantom gas in my nostrils. Sarah shaking me. You're safe. Base life hummed, briefings, trainings, but Elmwood's pull faded. I visited Dad's grave yearly, laying stones like he taught. Miss you, I'd whisper. Wind carrying regrets. Mom's letters evolved, from excuses to accountability. Therapy here helps. I was lost after your dad. Prison programs broke her cycle. Release loomed in 5. Jack. Appeals denied. Rotting in max security. Rumors. He ranted about ungrateful bitches. Justice. Finally. A new chapter. I met Alex. A civilian contractor. Over coffee. His calm balanced my storms, dates hiking. Talks deep into night. You're a warrior, he'd say. Sarah approved. He gets it. Wedding bells? Maybe. Family redefined. But echoes persisted. A call from Elmwood PD. Jack's ex surfaced. Similar stories. Pattern emerged, serial abuser. My testimony aided her case. Closure multiplied. Reflecting, the basement was an end. But pivot. It stripped illusions. Revealed truths. Love can twist. But strength endures. Mom's smile? A wound healing slow. Years blurred. But clarity sharpened. At 30, I retired honorably, starting a nonprofit for veteran families escaping abuse. Speeches shared my story, not for pity, but power. You can break free, I'd say. Voice steady. Mom's release. Tentative reunion at a diner. She looked frail. Eyes clear. I failed you. Tears flowed. Forgiveness budded. Not full bloom. We built slow, calls, visits. Jack died in prison. Heart attack. No grief. Just finality. With Alex, we had a daughter. Naming her after Dad. Watching her play, I vowed protection. Sarah. Godmother. Reminded, you're the proof survivors thrive. The basement's lesson? Betrayal cuts deep. But resilience rebuilds. Was Mom redeemable? The question lingers. A quiet echo in healed scars. Strength isn't absence of pain, it's rising despite it.
And rise.
I did.